All right, so today we're gonna really dig into this new memoir that's coming out from Youngmi Mayer.
I'm excited about this one.
I'm laughing because I'm crying. A memoir.
Yeah.
We know that a lot of you out there are really excited about this, and we wanted to kind of give you a little taste
Little preview
before it drops.
Yeah, get ahead of the game a little bit.
So Youngmi Mayer is a comedian.
Yes, she is.
She's done
stand-up and a podcast host.
A podcast host.
Yeah.
Really known for her sharp wit.
Oh yeah, she's got that like a really unique voice that's kind of like makes you laugh, but also hits you with some truth bombs.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure. And speaking of truth bombs, she's got this opening line in the book, and it's straight from her mother.
Oh wow.
Do you know what happens if you laugh while crying?
Oh my God.
Hair grows out of your butthole.
Oh my God. It's amazing.
I mean, what?
That is so good.
A way to kick off a memoir.
Right. And that's so her too. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean?
It really is.
It's like, that's classic Youngmi Mayer.
Yes.
And I feel like that also kind of speaks to like what the book seems to be about.
Yes.
Which is like finding humor in like really difficult situations.
Totally.
And it's even in the title, I'm laughing because I'm crying.
Yeah, it's kind of a glimpse into her approach to life.
Exactly.
So let's talk about her a little bit.
Yeah.
So Youngmi Mayer.
Pretty interesting background, too.
Yeah, very interesting background. So she was born in Korea.
Okay.
Raised in Saipan.
Okay.
Her father is Caucasian. Her mother is Korean. And it sounds like her upbringing...
I was going to say, it sounds like kind of a difficult upbringing.
Yeah, her mom is actually...
From what we're reading.
Like a main character in the book.
Yeah, a huge character in the book, yeah.
And described as blunt.
Yeah. Blunt sometimes, even cruel.
Yeah. So you can just imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the challenges she faced.
Just in that dynamic alone.
Right. But here's what's interesting.
Okay.
She uses humor to deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a like a universal thing though. Like being able to laugh in the face of like.
Especially when it's like a
family with family. Yeah.
Totally. And it's like that ability to laugh was passed down.
Like a generational thing.
Almost like a survival tactic.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we deal with this? We're going to laugh about it.
Yeah. So that really comes through.
And it's interesting too, because she leans into like the dark stuff.
Yes.
It's not just like making people laugh.
Right.
It's like finding the absurdity and the pain and the struggle and the things that most people are trying to avoid.
Yeah. And she comes to America with this unique voice. Makes a career for herself.
Yeah, she's been on like everything.
As a stand-up comedian, I mean, she's been on The Today Show.
The Today Show.
ABC News.
ABC, yeah.
Rolling Stone, like all the big ones.
I mean, she's everywhere.
She's killing it.
And she uses all this in her stand-up.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes her like, so interesting and so compelling as a comedian is like she's weaving in humor and social commentary.
Absolutely.
In a way that's like really, really unique.
Yeah, so we haven't actually read the memoir.
Not yet.
Yeah, but we have read a lot of the Goodreads reviews.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there.
Oh my gosh. So good.
Yeah.
And people are really praising her humor, her intelligence.
Her intelligence and her like analysis. I feel like people are saying that she's really
her sharp social analysis and just all the things that she explores, like identity, family history,
cultural differences.
Yeah,
all within this comedic framework.
It sounds like it's like being emotionally impactful too.
Oh, for sure. People are talking about how she makes you laugh and cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the same sentence.
I mean, what a talent to be able to do that.
So there's this one review that I thought was so interesting.
Okay.
And it said that Mayer has no interest in offering herself to white readers for the feel-good catharsis of feeling bad.
Wow.
I mean,
that's powerful.
That is powerful.
What a statement.
And I think it's so fascinating because she's challenging this traditional expectation of a memoir.
She's not trying to like, pander to anybody or like make them feel a certain way.
Right.
She's just telling her story.
Yes. And I love that. And then the reviewer goes on to say, she contrasts the harsh reality of her family selling Kool-Aid to survive with how wealthy children cosplay poverty through lemonade stands.
Oh my God, that is brilliant.
Right.
It's so true though.
I know.
And like you never really think about it that way.
Right. And like she can just take these everyday things and show these huge societal inequalities.
Societal inequalities.
But in a way that like makes you Stop.
That's like a mirror.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Yeah.
And I feel like this whole
Yeah.
theme of challenging expectations is something that she does a lot.
Yeah.
And she also says that the thrill of stand-up is that it's pathetic even when you're good at it.
It's so true.
And I love that because it's so self-aware.
Yeah, and it's like you have to be okay with being vulnerable in order to be a good comedian.
And I think that ties back to what we were saying before about her willingness to be vulnerable and just kind of
embrace the mess.
Yeah.
Embrace the messy parts of life.
And then there was one more quote that I loved. Truth doesn't always make sense. And I feel like that's the essence.
That's good. Yeah.
Her work.
And it's also kind of like against what we think a memoir should be.
Right.
You know, like a memoir is supposed to be like, here's the resolution, here's the closure.
Happily ever after.
And she's like, no. Yeah. Life is just messy.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
About her.
I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read it.
Me too. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and to think she does that in her writing too.
Yeah, you know.
Like to be able to have people laughing out loud 1 minute and then just like hit them with something so profound the next. Like, that is a real talent.
And it makes you wonder, like, how much of that comes from her background.
Right.
You know, growing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Between these two cultures.
Yeah.
The biracial identity.
I mean, all of those things have to like play a part in like shaping her comedic voice.
For sure.
It's like all these...
Like you can't separate the art from the artist, you know? And then you think about...
And her experiences like navigating racial dynamics in America, dealing with a really tough family growing up between Korea and Saipan.
And taking those things.
Like all of that just gets poured into...
And turning them into something.
Her comedy,
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
You know?
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it sounds like she doesn't shy away from the tough topics.
From what we're seeing, it seems like she's talking about like some pretty intense stuff.
Yeah, colonialism, war trauma.
Yeah, heavy stuff.
All of it.
Yeah.
But she still manages to weave.
But there's still humor there.
That humor in.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important.
It's so important.
You know, like to be able to...
Because it's like saying, yes, this is all happening, but we can still find a way to laugh about it.
Get to have joy. Yeah. Even in these dark times.
And she does.
And it sounds like she does it in a way that's like really inviting too.
Yeah.
Like she's not preaching. She's just like sharing her perspective and like.
It's not a lecture.
Yeah. Just like, hey, this is how I see it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And it's so interesting because, you know, we were saying before that she's not like trying to pander to any specific audience. Yeah. But it sounds like she's connecting.
But she's connecting with everybody.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
So many people.
Yeah.
From all walks of life.
Totally. And I think that's because she's like tapping into those like universal human experiences.
Yes.
Like we all have struggles. We all have things that we're like dealing with. And I think her work kind of reminds us that it's okay to like find the funny in all of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Like we can embrace the messiness.
Yeah, embrace the mess
of it all.
Because it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
It's not always perfect.
Yeah.
It's messy.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It's hard.
And sometimes it's just like downright painful.
Yeah. And if we can find ways.
And if we can laugh about it.
Yeah.
It can actually be really like freeing.
So for those of you listening who are intrigued
by this memoir.
Yes.
Like, and for good reason.
Yeah.
If you are looking for a book that's going to challenge some conventions, make you laugh out loud, and really make you think.
Yes.
Then this is definitely a book to add to your list.
It sounds like it's so much more than just a funny memoir. Yeah. It's like a real
deep dive into identity and culture, family dynamics, the immigrant experience. It's going to be a good one.
And it comes out November 12th, 2024.
Write that down, folks.
Yeah, mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars, November 12th, 2024.
So you know we keep coming back to this line about laughing so hard that hair grows out of your butthole.
It's so good.
It's such a bizarre...
It's so weird.
Hilarious and oddly profound.
It's so perfect, though.
It's so perfect.
Right, and it kind of like sums up...
It really does.
Her whole approach.
It's like, life is ridiculous. Let's just like embrace the absurdity of it all.
And find a way to laugh even when things are...
Even when things are tough.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's like a reminder that even when we're crying...
even when we're at our lowest.
Yeah.
There's always room for laughter.
And that's not to say that this book is all like sunshine and rainbows.
No, it sounds like she gets real.
Gets really honest and real vulnerable.
About some tough stuff.
Yeah.
But even in those moments.
Well, it seems like there's still like a sense of like resilience.
Yeah.
Like even in the face of pain, like we can still connect. We can still laugh.
Yeah.
We can still keep going.
We can still find a way to find that silver lining.
That silver line
behind those dark clouds.
Yeah, and it seems like Youngmi Mayer is like leading the charge on that.
She is.
You know?
She really is.
Like showing us that it's okay to laugh at it all.
Yes.
To embrace
and to find humor in those unexpected places.
Totally.
So as we wait for this book to come out on November 12th.
Can't wait.
Let's just all take a minute.
Take a moment.
To appreciate the power of humor. Yeah. To heal. To connect. To help us face those difficult truths that we often try to avoid.
Totally. And maybe ask ourselves, like, how can we be more like Youngmi Mayer?
Yes.
You know?
How can we use humor?
How can we use humor?
To help us.
Yeah, to help us our own.
To build resilience.
To foster resilience.
Yeah. And just like contribute to a more compassionate and understanding world.
That's a great question. And it makes me wonder how much of that comes from like her Korean heritage.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, like I feel like different cultures have different approaches to humor.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something in like Korean culture that kind of leads to this ability to find humor in the darkness.
It makes you think about like the power of those influences.
Right.
Like how the stories that were told and like the traditions we're raised with, the way we see the world.
Yeah.
It like shapes our sense of humor and how we use it to deal with things.
You know, another thing that stood out to me in those reviews was how much people were talking about
her intelligence.
People are saying she's really smart.
Yeah, and like her sharp social analysis.
Yeah.
It's not just about making people laugh.
Yeah.
It's about making them think.
It's like she's using humor to like dissect these complex issues and kind of challenge us.
And challenge the status quo.
Yeah, yeah.
And remember that line that we talked about before?
Yeah.
Where she talks about like the Kool-Aid stand.
The Kool-Aid stands.
Versus the lemonade stand.
Oh my God, that's so brilliant.
And like how wealthy kids kind of like cosplay poverty.
Yeah, it's so true though.
Yeah, and it's like she's taking something that seems so innocent and exposed.
And just like flipping it on its head and making you see it.
The underlying.
In a completely different way.
Socioeconomic disparity.
Yeah, and it's like so subtle. But so powerful.
And she does it all with this like really sharp,
razor sharp wit that just like cuts through all the BS.
Yes, and I love how another reviewer said she shouldn't need a reason for a memoir.
I love that.
It's like her existence is enough.
Yeah, just her being alive
and
having these experiences is enough of a reason.
And I think that really speaks to...
And I think that says a lot about her confidence, too.
Yes.
You know?
And her refusal to...
Like, I'm not going to play by
the rules.
Your rules.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it my way.
So, for those of you who are excited to read this book, mark your calendars for November 12, 2024.
That's the day, folks.
That's when it comes out.
Get ready.
I think it's going to be...
It's going to be a good one.
A really good one.
I have a feeling.
And we will be here.
Yes, we will.
Dive deep into it.
Absolutely. We'll do a whole deep dive.
Once it's released.
On the book.
So until then. Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep
and keep finding those moments of humor.
Yeah.
Even when things are tough.
Life throws you a curveball.
There's always something to laugh about.
Always something to laugh about.
Oh.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.